Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Christensen. What, I pray thee, tell, are we reviewing today? I'm trying to do my better voice. What, I pray thee, tell. I can't do as deep of a voice as this man, because he is a manly man. Holy crap. We've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
I can't sign it. My hand can guide thee.
And we've got Clinton Westover.
Remove thy shiv.
I was going to say, what do you want? We've got Dr. Clinton in the house. I'm sorry, I did not refer to you as doctor. I'm ashamed.
Okay. I love you regardless.
Will you forgive me?
Nobody calls me doctor, so I wouldn't notice.
But you are a real doctor, yes?
I am a real doctor, yes. But I'm around other doctors all the time, so it'd be weird if we're like, doctor. Oh, doctor. Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, Muppets from Space, man. All right, today we are discussing a movie pretty much the exact opposite of Muppets from Space. It's called The Witch. This movie was terrifying. Or it's VV-itch. I don't know. I think the movie might be called The VV-itch. I don't know. I looked up The Witch, couldn't find it for a while on Rotten Tomatoes, and then I typed in VVITHC or CH, and it was like, oh, you mean The Witch? I'm like, yes, not The Witch. It's weird because the movie poster actually looks like two V's, which I have questions about because I don't know what that means. 5-5? What is it? 5-5 Roman numerals? What is it? I have no idea. Why do they do that? Is it just off-putting? Is it like, oh, is it meant to be witch? Or maybe that you see a witch, but there's not really a witch between the two V's, W? I don't know. Guys, this movie came out in 2015. It was directed by Robert Eggers, and it was written by Robert Eggers. This guy needs some help. This guy's crazy. This movie terrified me. This movie was so scary, and it has a lot in common. Actually, I wanted to get into a discussion with you guys about director. Do you fear Ari Aster's next movie, or would you fear Robert Eggers' next movie? This is the guy that did Lighthouse as well, and Witch, like another movie which we'll have to discuss on the pod. I think this guy's way more terrifying than Ari Aster. Ari Aster did good with Hereditary and Midsommar, but these two films, Lighthouse and Witch, are way scarier than those two. Both, on all accounts, are scary.
He seems to tackle psychological horror, I feel like, a bit better.
Yes, because Midsommar actually has to rely heavily. There are elements of like depression and whatever, but like unsettling and unnerving, the feeling that you get after you watch this movie in Lighthouse is way more lasting than anything I saw in Midsommar.
Well, he nails the period piece too, like nails it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Guys, holy cow, this movie, okay. So, it's so crazy. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy. She is like
she's going places.
My new favorite.
Yeah.
She kicks Saoirse Ronan's every day of the week. She is so much cooler. Anya Taylor-Joy is my new upcoming favorite actress. I think she's so cool. She's in Thoroughbreds. She was in Split. She's like in all the coolest movies, these indie movies. Anyway, I hope she takes it all from Saoirse and kicks her to the curb because she is that amazing. Ralph Ineson plays William. Holy cow, this guy. He's just, what a manly man.
Well, and Clinton, did you recognize the mom from Game of Thrones? The one that breastfeeds her son till he's like 9 years old?
Oh, yeah. I remember watching Game of Thrones and recognizing her, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, Kate Dickey. Yep.
Yeah, so in both that and this movie, she's breastfeeding in very uncomfortable ways.
Right. Oh, yeah.
That crow.
Yeah.
Typecast.
Hacking at her. My gosh. And it's got Harvey Scrimshaw, Ellie Granger, Lucas Dawson, Julian Richings, and that's pretty much it. There's a few other people. I can't help mention Daniel Malick, who did the voice of Black Phillip, the goat. Also Satan itself. But yeah, I recognize him because he is in The Expanse, which is I just watched the first episode of. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, Satan?
Expanse. Yes, Satan. So, guys, if you haven't noticed, this movie's dark. Little kiddos, do not listen to this podcast. Don't watch this movie because it scared me. Guys, I'm going to get right into it. We're going to go into say, what was it like watching this movie for the first time or rewatching it for the podcast? This was the scariest movie I'd ever seen when I saw it. Last year or 2 years ago. I watched it for the first time, and I was like, oh, I'm in the mood for watching a scary movie. I watched Conjuring, and I was like, chicken feed. Like, it did not scare me. Not whatsoever. I was not even fazed by The Conjuring. And I thought I didn't have a soul. And you might be right. Maybe I don't have a soul. But I watched The Witch, and I was terrified of what was going to happen, especially the end meeting with Philip in the end in the little house. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted.
Can we mute you? Sorry, we just hear baby crying really
Oh,
loud.
yeah.
Baby's crying because we're talking about the scariest movie of all time. So this movie was so terrifying, and I watched it again, and unfortunately it wasn't as terrifying as the first time I watched it. Surprise, surprise. Not really any surprise there, but holy cow, does it still hold up as a period piece, a drama, and still unsettling horror. Like, that doesn't go away just because you know what's going to happen. This movie, whoa, it impacted me. Let's just put it that way. So, get into it. Jordan, what was it like watching the movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
So back when VidAngel, you could rent movies for $1, I rented it on VidAngel. And because it's cheaper to rent it on that than it would be on iTunes or something.
I just don't know what you could do.
No, well, I didn't take out anything. I wish I had, because I got to the part where they kidnapped the baby, and I was like, oh, this is dark. And so I turned it off, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch this.
Believe it or not, in my first viewing, I did not understand that. And now I understand on the second viewing, and so it's more disturbing. But I can only imagine how much more scared I would have been on my first viewing if I actually caught what was happening when that child gets kidnapped. Because I actually thought Anya Taylor-Joy's character found the baby and was walking it with it in the forest, but then later it's revealed it's like, we never found the baby, and I was like, oh, okay, so I guess that wasn't her walking in the forest. But then who was?
So you didn't see the witch rubbing herself in the blood of the child?
No. Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I missed that whole detail.
After I saw that, I was like, oh, geez, I'm done. And then it wasn't until later that somebody said, oh, just skip that. And so I did, and then I watched it, and I was like, holy crap, this movie is amazing. And now I absolutely love it. I've only seen it twice because I have to take this movie in strides. I mean, just like, I need to give it some time in between watches because it's very...
Space them out.
It's a hard watch. It's so good, though. It's one of those movies, like, it really pulls me in. I mean, it pulled me in, and I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to be watching just this guy's movies, both this and Lighthouse. Every time I watch them, I can't be playing it in the background. Like, I have to be watching everything. So good.
Oh, it's just terrifying.
And I have to put on subtitles, too, because I was like, I think I'm getting about half of it.
That old English way of talking, right? The New England folktale. This is the craziest. Clinton, what about you, man? What was it like watching it the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
Yeah, I totally agree. The first time I tried watching it, I got to the baby smashing blood naked person scene, and I was like, I can't watch this.
Now, to his credit, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but like, it's not exactly clear what is happening, but you can piece together. There is blood. There is rubbing, caressing skin with blood on it.
I realized
you don't
that
see a baby's head get his head smashed in, but
I realized
anyway,
that a creepy old woman
was
was smashing a baby. Like, I caught that.
See, I must just be so dumb. Like I said, I just, maybe my sweet innocent mind was like, of course that's not happening in a movie because they don't do that in movies. And then I'm like, no, they totally did that in a movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Second
So
time I watched
that
it.
was the first time I tried watching it, and then someone else, my brother, like said it's amazing. So I tried it out, and it really is. Like, it's an amazing movie.
Maybe everyone that recommended it to Jordan and to Clinton, you too. Maybe there were people that were like me the first time watching it and didn't understand the baby scene, and then they're like, oh, you just gotta keep watching. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't get the baby thing. I didn't get it at all. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, watching.
When can you miss it?
Yeah, watching it again though, like didn't watch it completely again, but watching it again, it's cool knowing she's the witch and just watching all the things that she does.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's what I wanted to
experience.
ask you guys. Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys. Do you guys believe that or not?
No,
I am curious.
I did up until the end when she, like, what was it? There was a moment where I'm like, oh, she genuinely looks confused. Oh, no, because she doesn't sign the book until the end. So she's not technically a witch, right?
I don't know. I think it's permanent. I think it's intentionally left ambiguous, but I am excited to hear your guys' thoughts and theories about it.
How is it ambiguous? Maybe you guys saw something and that I didn't.
So when do you suppose that she did this or became the witch?
I thought the whole time she was trying to lead her family to hell. Like, I thought that was the whole point of the movie. No, honestly, hear me out.
She certainly drives some people crazy.
Yeah. So the little brother, like, using sexuality to destroy his soul and then kill him. And then...
Well, now, to be fair, though, like, do we, like... I see the brothers stealing those glances, but I don't think she's privy to it, but maybe she's just playing ignorant. I think that's interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I think she takes the form of that, like, slutty girl. Like, I think it's all... What's her name? Thomason. Like, I think she's the witch. So she does that. I think she's the one that, like, gets her mother... Like, her mom, like, sells her soul in order to see her kid again. I think... Her dad.
Yeah, I caught that. She was like, he's like, sign here. I'll sign wherever. She says that in like a prayer or whatever, in a dream. She's like, I'll sign wherever. So I did catch that.
Yeah, but that happened after, Ty. That happened. All that happened when she signed the...
No. I'm talking about the mother. She says, I'll sign the book.
Oh, the mom. That's
in a vision,
right.
yes.
The mom did.
So the mother, and then the next scene is her being pecked at by a crow. So
yeah.
And then she survives that, which is a horrifying ordeal, and then tries to confront her daughter, which is interesting that you say that, Clinton, because I believe it could go both ways, and the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, maybe she was the witch the whole time, and then the second time, I'm like, I don't think she was the witch the whole time.
Yeah, me neither.
Then who is the witch?
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I almost like it. Well, it's all those crazy naked ladies in the forest.
Remember that were around the fire pit at the end, like hunched over and spinning their heads?
Doing the craziest. It's pretty much what I imagine Burning Man is like, except less sacrificed babies. But yeah, it's just all these crazy coven ladies singing and dancing wildly, frantically naked in the forest. And I'm like, okay, she found her people. Because at the end, she like accepts the coven, and she does sign only at the very end when he talks to her. And then I think she.
And then my question is, then is all the stuff that happened to her, is that enough to drive her to be a witch? Is what I want to know. Like,
I mean, life sucked back then. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like that holy cow, that 13th century, or it was the 16th century, or whatever, it's 1630 AD, and I'm like, I would hate to live in that time. My gosh, everything sucked. Like, you didn't have good hygiene. You died from the minute, like, infection. You believed that everyone was a witch.
Well,
you lived this Puritan lifestyle where if you're like, hey, my life is hard, you're like, hey, stop thinking about yourself and think on God. And you're like, oh my gosh, can I just complain right now? My feet hurt. I'm tired. I have no one out here. And Dad wants to sell me off to some other farm and to be their problem, you know? Like, they'll sell me off and I'll have to marry someone and unwantingly have his babies. Like, that sounds terrifying. What a terrible life. So the life of dancing around naked as a witch in the forest, I think it might be an upgrade based on the farm life.
The only thing that she had actually done that was like, quote unquote, I guess, wrong or bad was, well, I don't even know if it's wrong, but she killed her mom in self-defense. So, I mean, all this other stuff that Clinton's saying is just, that is more...
Whoa. But she did pretend to be a witch to her younger siblings, driving them mad because then she would deny it later.
Or she really was.
Yeah, the whole family lies at one point or another. Or she's telling the truth right there.
Yeah, I thought she was telling the truth.
Yeah, right? It does seem fantastical that she tells
Well, that's what I thought in the second viewing. But then as the time went on, I'm like, she just doesn't have anything else to say that nothing that you see that says that she's a witch. Like, she might be faking it all, but there isn't anything else besides her, like, mad at her sister.
But to Clinton's defense, though, I thought was really poetic was when she insults the father about being only good for chopping wood, and then Philip, the goat, rams into the father and pierces him and kills him. He falls over into his wood pile, and he's covered in the wood, the thing that she insulted him with. So that was pretty poetic and everything. And just to Clinton's credit, like, I noticed those little details, and I was like, I mean, that's why, again, on second viewing, I'm like, I think it goes either way, but I don't know if I can definitively say yes or no.
Here you go, guys.
You're right.
You guys, like, a witch has powers given to her by Satan to do things that are supernatural.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, see, I'm not denying that there wasn't supernatural things. I'm just saying I didn't know that the daughter was the one causing it all. Like, Black Phillip shows up. He's a goat. He's the one that causes the deal, right? He's like, sign with me and I'll do whatever. Because at the very beginning...
And is the bunny possessed too? Is that what we're to believe? It looked possessed.
That is the scariest looking rabbit I've ever seen
in my life.
And the scariest looking goat. I mean, all of them are scary. And the two kids, they're terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Hansel and Gretel, I'll call them. Those two kids, I don't even remember their names. Mercy and Jonas, terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying two little kids. But where do they get those two child actors? They need to be in everything. They're freaking amazing in this movie. The way they talk, like, yeah, get you gone, you witch. And like, you're a witch. I'm a brute. I'm like, where did they find these two kids? These are the most terrifying children I've ever seen in movies. So anyway, the whole Salem witch trial, calls back to those things. Like, that time period sucked. You could just make an accusation, and if luck was not going your way, you could just blame a sibling and have them burned at the stake as a witch.
Yeah, I was
like,
afraid. I'm
they
like,
gave you a
dang,
funny
she's gonna
look.
get her own siblings killed. Like they like locked them all in there
Yes.
together.
Now, Clinton, you're right in the fact that like a wolf or a witch, could they fly in that quickly and take the baby and run off into the wood clearing as fast? Like that seemed, but to their credit, witches can do supernatural powerful things, right? And then she takes the baby, mashes the baby up, wears its blood or whatever, and then whatever. I'm saying this so cavalierly. This is a super disturbing movie, but I have to just move on. I can't even think about it because if I think about it too long, I'll probably break down and cry and be shivering in the corner. So, so you're right. Like in the sense that the witch came in, took the baby, and then later on, again, the evidence that the daughter is actually the one that caused all this. It was the sexuality that eventually led Caleb, that lure of the women in the woods. I just assumed that was the witch that stole the baby, and now she looks youthful because she bathed herself in baby blood. And then a new boy comes along, and then he tempts him, gives him a good kiss, and then the most terrifying hand pops out of her cloak, which is like this old withered hand. It's just like The Shining, that terrifying room 237 or whatever scene. Holy crap, that was disgusting.
It's like you guys
So
watched
scary.
a totally different movie than I did.
No, like I said, all the evidence is, it's so funny that you say that. I'm just surprised. It's like, I guess she had to go through all of that to eventually become the witch. Because at the very end, I would assume that she hasn't relinquished that power. But at the end, she's like, what else do I have? I'll become a witch. That's all. I didn't know that like this was all part of her training, was sacrifice the baby. But did she take the baby? Did she bathe it in its blood? I just don't buy that. Maybe she did.
That's like, yeah.
That's what I think. I think she was watching the baby. She's the one that took it. She's the one that murdered it.
The only thing I say that is because at the very end there are other witches, right? We're to assume that those other women are witches, right?
Yeah.
That's all. That's what I'm saying is like she does become one of them at the end, and it seems like it's her first time.
Yeah.
And she's finally entered into the coven of witches, right? So
believe
maybe
me,
that was her
Clint-
initiation. This whole movie could have been her initiation, right? Like I totally agree with that.
Yeah, Clinton, I thought the same thing at watching it the second time. I'm like, oh, she's a witch. So as I was watching it, I'm like, watching all the parts, I'm like, oh, she's already doing this stuff as a witch. But by the time I got to the end, I'm like, oh no, like she's like just signed the book and she's just starting to become into that world. Like, and there was tons of other witches. So I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
give
but
you your point that maybe that's...
Okay.
Yeah, they don't officially show her as the witch. Like until the end, she looks like she became a witch.
Yeah.
So I don't know where she got those supernatural powers, unless they were lying about it and she's an unreliable narrator, which is like my favorite story element device ever. No, but again, everyone lies in this movie, which is another reason why I thought maybe it's not true. Just because, for example, the father really stresses me out when he freaking doesn't tell the mother that he traded the silver cup, just lets his daughter take the fall for it. What a move.
Yeah, low.
Just terrible. Nice work, Williams. You know, just the wife.
Father
just
of the
a
Year
jerk
award.
move. Yeah. Father of the Year award. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll let my daughter take the fall for that. It's like, they live in the middle of fetching nowhere in the wilderness, and where did the silver cup go? It's like, out with it, you idiot. Like poor daughter has to take the fall, and the mom's just like, how dare you take it? And now you're stealing, you're whoring yourself, like, tempting your brother. Like the mother did mention that, Jordan. Like
she
she's
called
like
him her whore.
Yes, and she's like, you led our son away to temptation. They all blame her. The more I talk about it, the more I think it's probably her.
Everybody thinks it's her.
Is that what everyone thinks? I see. And again, I think the movie works just as fine both ways, but maybe it's more emotional if she's the one doing it, obviously. So I think, Jordan, we're going to have to relinquish to Clinton that...
I'm not relinquishing. I'm sorry. I watched it twice. Clinton's only seen it once.
You've seen it twice?
1.5.
Oh, 1.5. I've seen it twice now, and I'm less certain now. And that's what I like about these movies, because again, it's like we're not told explicitly, but at the end, the transformation is complete, right? Whether someone else was plaguing them, what brought the spirit initially to them, I guess.
Why would she
just got a
sign the
little
book
curious,
twice,
right?
Clinton? That makes no sense.
She didn't have to sign it twice.
She only signed it once.
Yeah, but
Only
then
signed it at the end.
why was it signed at the end of the movie?
Because she was selling her soul to the devil.
She
is
finally
that different
became
than
the
being a
witch.
witch?
She
Yeah.
she became the
Oh.
witch. Yeah,
Okay.
Because once you
I
study
guess-
soul,
I
then
guess
you
I
get
didn't
like
realize
those
there
evil
were
dark
steps.
powers, you know?
I thought that-
you ride around on a broomstick and fly through the air, like 100 feet in the air up in the pine trees.
Well, I
you
thought,
know?
but they said earlier in the film, Ty, that was dancing with Satan. Like, I thought that wasn't actually flying like witches. Like, that was just their souls flying. Or were they actually floating like witches?
Who knows? In the end, it's ambiguous. So,
See, I
can't
think of
enough
it
be
as
definitively said.
it's like boiling a frog, you know, like degrees. You know, she starts off squishing babies,
Yes.
and then eventually she sells her soul to the devil. Like it's just
sorry,
a
I
progression.
laugh at that.
This
That's gross.
movie, Jordan, this movie could be an initiation movie where it's
Yeah.
like the origin story movie, right?
Yeah.
Like this is how she becomes a witch at the very end of it.
Well, yeah, I get, I don't know.
Because like the family's exiled into the wilderness all alone, like starving, and
Yeah,
her-
she's
her
a
dis-
witch in training, Jordan, and
Yeah.
then she has to like slowly lead her family down this path and like kill every single one of them. And like I said, I think the most telling is like, again, the only reasons I was trying to defend it is because there seemed supernatural elements that she hadn't predicted. And maybe it was like the rabbit, the goat, you know, Philip. It wasn't like she had a connection to it. She acted afraid of the whole goat the whole time. So again, those are the kinds of questions I have. And I'm like, did she know that the goat was actually Satan? Was she...
So that witch
Looking
inside
forward to
the
the time
barn
to
with
take over the
them,
thing.
you're saying, Clinton, that was her? Because do you remember the ending? The kids start screaming, and there's a witch in there, and she starts screaming. So you're saying that was her, or you're saying there was another witch?
Yeah, so that's a good scene, right? Because it's like, was it really her? Was it...
I'm trying to remember when they were like with the goat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were trapped
in the stable.
He nailed
Oh.
the barn shut with them in the...
I thought
Little
the
stable.
goat. I thought the goat was talking. Is that not right?
No, but that's the end.
No, but you clearly see the witch.
Yeah,
There's like a figure. She like screams. You see like
She starts
Oh.
gross
cackling.
face.
I vaguely
Yeah, she
remember
starts
that. Yeah,
cackling.
I guess
Yeah,
I did think
yeah.
it was the girl, but yeah.
But the girl was standing there screaming at the witch. So I don't know. Just little inconsistencies there, buddy.
Yeah. See, again, and to Clinton's credit, again.
I was at Clinton.
all
I
these
said I was
things-
on your
oh,
side up until the end, because then
Yeah,
the end
yeah.
just doesn't make sense if I don't know.
No, again, it could if this was all initiation. She needed to provide all this stuff for the devil to think that she was worthy to endow her with dark powers, right? Like that's how one way to read it.
I just
right?
feel like that wraps it all up in a nice little box that brings the whole story together. If you don't have that, then it's like there was just some random witch who was terrorizing them that you never really
Random
see.
witch. It's witches that terrorize families that are excluded and out far away. It's the perfect
Secluded.
crime.
Yeah, it is sad though to think that if you leave the church and they exile you from the city and you leave that stronghold gate, never leave. Just stay. Do whatever you have to stay in the city. Do not leave that fort. I don't care how Puritan they get.
I know
man.
this movie
If you-
seriously made me never want to live out in the forest.
or farm. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like the rotted corn, the crops, everything dying, the animals, like the miserable life. He can't shoot, he can't hunt. They're all injured. They get wet. They get dirty. It's just like this movie is like all gray and black. There's no color in this movie. It is so bleak.
And
It is
when she was
hard
doing
to
the
watch.
peekaboo to the baby, dude, that part made me jump
my
so
gosh.
bad. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know why. It's just like, because it right before that, there was like a wide shot of the forest. And I was like looking like very intensely to see if I could see anything.
Or something was gonna rush her, right? But in the trailer, it does spoil that where she says "boo" and the baby's not there,
Yeah.
and you're just like, and then she looks up to the forest and she runs out to the forest. The music in this is so unnerving and unsettling. Like it keeps coming on at moments where you're like, oh, a jump scare's happening. No, it's just to give you that moment. It doesn't give you the release. It just builds this music and you're like, and then it stops and there's no jump scare. There's no catharsis cathartic release or anything. It's just tension. It keeps building up until the very, the big jump scares, which are unbelievable, by the way, like the woman's hand, the witch laughing, the freaking the goat stabbing the dad out of nowhere
Oh yeah,
with
that
his
made me
horns.
jump
Like,
so bad.
it just impales him. It's just terrifying. And
I had to watch this during the day because this movie scares me so bad. But then at night, I was like,
unreal.
I was so scared. I wasn't even watching it, and I just all of a sudden all those thoughts started coming back. Man, this movie terrifies me.
when she goes into the tent and talks with the devil, I had never been so scared.
Oh,
in a
the
movie
first
in my
time,
life.
yes.
And the fact that, like, again, after you've
Chills.
seen it and you know there's no jump scare, I still got goosebumps just because of the way the Malik guy that voiced the devil, Daniel Malik, dude. kudos to you. You have the scariest voice. He's just whispering. And I was so disturbed and so unsettled. You never see it, and you're just imagining this goat or somebody that's revealed itself to her is talking to her. Because when the goat's standing outside the shed, right, and leads her there, he like goes back inside, and then she follows the goat inside, and then you just see her by candlelight talking to someone off screen, and it's just so unnerving. That
But Ty,
whole scene
if you
was
look
just so well
closely, you can see something walking around. Like it looked like cowboy boots. I don't know. It's something. It looked like.
What are you talking about, dude? What on earth are you talking about?
No, I swear you can see like a person walking around in there.
Cowboy boots? What are you talking about?
No, but look again. Maybe it was the goat. I don't know.
You mean like goat hoofs, maybe? Goat hooves? You mean cowboy boots? Yeah, there's probably just some buccaneer, or not buccaneer, friggin'
Things look different at
Marlboro
night.
man walking around. What are you talking about, dude? Jordan, you don't know anything. I'm with Clinton now more, man.
Oh, okay.
No, I just didn't get the cowboy boots. What are you talking about? You saw cowboy boots walking around in the background?
I don't know. I'll watch it again, and then I'll send you a clip.
Please do. Be like, highlight it and be like, ding! It's like, okay, fan theories. Who is the cowboy at the end of The Witch? And then you go on the internet, it's like, wait, crickets? Like, wait, what? What cowboy at the end of The Witch? Maybe they're not the same movies. I love it, dude. I didn't see any cowboy boots. Did you see what he's talking about, Clinton?
No, Clinton's not there yet, so he doesn't.
It's true.
Wait, he's not there yet. Are you literally watching it right now?
I have it on. So yeah, even the little boy thinks she's a witch before he dies. Like everybody thinks this girl's a witch.
Well, he doesn't clearly say it. He does say, like, I'm being attacked, I'm dying, she's coming for me. Could be the other witch. I don't know. Like I said, I like what Clinton's saying. It does feel a lot more emotionally written when you find out that it's her. Because, again, the woodpile thing is my most convincing evidence, because she insults the father and he dies in the woodpile.
That's your most convincing evidence, brother.
Yeah.
For me too, like that's like classic witch stuff. Is like killing your sibling baby. Like that's like classic witch stuff.
Yeah, you sacrifice the child, and then you're like, okay, accept this sacrifice, give me your power.
I just like how you
know?
guys always believe like your theories more than what you see. Like, I don't know. It's just interesting.
Well, there are like so many things that support it, except there's like one scene that doesn't quite fit, and we're not sure why. But it's not enough to like push me.
Right, and again, it could be like the witch. I don't know.
One
like
scene.
showing
Try all the
itself.
times
Yeah.
that you see other witches running off with the baby, like another person, not the girl, another witch.
Right.
And then you see,
Or-
and then your
or
theory
someone
that it was
in-
her, but there was a different witch out there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like there is someone carrying a baby into the woods, but you don't see her face.
I just believe what my
To
eyes
be
can see, Clinton.
fair.
Not what my crazy mind is telling me.
No, but Jordan, listen, you like that movie High Tension, right? The lesbian with the table saw or whatever? Yeah, that movie has its problems by taking on an
I
identity.
don't know what that has to do with this. What are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying, you said you saw a woman carrying a baby into the forest, right? And it was cloaked. You never saw who it was. It could have been the daughter. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not explicitly.
no, but then you
just-
see the ugly, creepy witch rubbing the baby blood on her.
Yeah, by candlelight. Again,
That
is
was
it ugly?
But you're saying because you can't really see the person, it's actually the young 18-year-old
Could
girl.
be, dude. What she did was disgusting. Maybe it turns you into that when you sell your soul to the devil and start this initiation process.
No, I thought
It
the
brings
point
out the witch
of
inside of
signing
you.
your soul to the devil is so that you could live longer, and that's why those older women.
Immortality, the power of Satan, all the witchcraft, like actual true
Well, and that's why you
powers,
saw
'cause-
that one lady in the red, like the pretty girl that grabs him with the creepy hand, is because she's slowly turning back into a witch. She needs more baby blood or whatever.
No.
Yeah, see,
Everybody
I-
sells
I-
their soul for different reasons. Like the mom sold her soul to see her baby again.
Oh yeah.
Thomason sells her soul so she can eat butter or whatever it says. And then like I don't know, that was the promise that she was given, and
Right.
like I don't know. I don't think there's one
I think
reason
that's
that
a
you-
metaphor. Maybe it's
I
not.
think
But
you're
just
right.
living a life that's better, but a life that's better than this fetching farm life, right? Because
Yeah.
her own dad hated her. She was going to have to go to another farm and slave away and have children under a forced marriage, arranged marriage. Just not a fun time, dude. It's 1600s, man. Get your act together. You're canceled, 1600s. Wouldn't have wanted to live during that time. Very sexist. Oh, it's crazy. But Jordan's thinking, wouldn't it be great to live back in that time, dude? You can talk to your woman. Wench! I don't remember the funniest lines from this movie. All right, let's say two of our favorite things real quick. I know we've gone like just talking about this movie. Clinton, 2 of your favorite things from this movie.
Oh man, the language is so good.
Oh, so good.
Unbelievable.
That really did it for
Have
me.
you seen Lighthouse, Clinton? Have you seen The Lighthouse?
No.
You want to talk about language? Again, blows my mind. You need
Well,
to
same
watch
director. He
Lighthouse.
actually studied, just like
Same
this
director.
movie. He studied old like passages and all like.
It's anyway, but I just wanted to add, he does it, and again, and even I would even argue more masterful than this.
Really,
one.
because it just felt like
Yes,
poetry, and it just took you right to that place. It was
Oh
so
my gosh,
cool.
you need to see Lighthouse. You have to see it, Clay. I'm just saying. I just wanted to recommend it while you were here, from me to you, from the goat's mouth,
Yeah.
or the horse's mouth, whatever.
The other thing that I liked, the second thing is the thing I least liked about the movie was just how evil it is. Like it just
Yeah.
felt like it was hitting so
It's
close
sinister.
to like home and real
Yes.
evil that I think they did that really well. Like they followed old witchcraft folklore, and it just felt very real. So. I like
Yeah,
that.
maybe
Oh,
too
yeah,
close to
it's
home.
the most terrifying story, yeah. Because in any other director or storyteller, it's okay. Hansel and Gretel, they push the old witch into the oven and then they can eat her or whatever. I think that's just as morbid. I think they say they eat the gingerbread house and then they go find their way back home to Papa, right? But in other versions, it's like, no, Hansel and Gretel like ate other children or whatever, right? It's like, and then they actually ate her, and after they were well satisfied after eating the witch, they go back home and find their dad. You know, like all these old fairy tales, like they were so bleak. Like Pinocchio, that's a disturbing one too. Like Cinderella, all these old stories. Rapunzel, the queen gouging out the prince's eyes. Like all the stories have terrifying things in them. So yeah, it's chilling. So yeah, it's evil. Jordan, what about you? 2 of your favorite things?
Dang, Clinton took the best one, obviously.
For sure.
I mean, I cannot wait for this director to make another movie because he's made 2 masterpieces, and I can't wait to see more of his work. Remind me his name, Ty?
So they're directed by Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. Yeah, he's like one of my favorite upcoming directors now, just because he does period pieces masterfully, and I just feel immersed into that world. I love it, like everything from how they look to how they the way they talk. And like I said, it's so authentic. Like I have to get subtitles because I can't understand half of what they're saying.
Yeah, the use of ye and the, it's so beautiful, but it's terrifying too, because I want to obey the father of the house because I'm terrified he'll hit me with a stick, you know, or bash his head when he picks his son up and he's like, oh, smash the life out of your face, and the kid wakes up, starts screaming. Like, yeah, everyone in this movie is pulling 110%.
Yeah.
There's no weak actors. There's no one. This whole
Dude,
family
they
is
picked
so
a dad
compelling.
with such a distinct face. And like how he talks, it just
Unbelievable.
So good.
Yeah, unreal. Ralph Ineson, dude. Whatever else he's in, he's like some British actor. He's in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which I don't even remember him from Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's like a
Well,
rapper.
and I love that you brought up the main girl. At first, when I saw her, I'm like, oh, I hope this doesn't distract me because now she's getting more famous. But seriously, she's such a good actress. Like, I just totally was lost in her character.
Lost.
Great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, everyone is pulling 110%. Every single member of this family is compelling. Even the boy who you're like, oh, it's going to be an annoying kid. Like, I always say, like, what's the dumbest horror movie decision? And in the end, I would say, like, well, the boy going out into the woods. But it's like, he was literally lusting after the witch. So, like, he obviously gave in.
But that
and at
wasn't
the
why
end,
he
he's
went
paying
into
the
the woods. He
price.
went in the woods to get food for his family. Like,
Right. And then he actually went with his sister, mind you. So they were the only 2 out there. So the sister could have pulled her.
she fell off
magic
the horse
voodoo.
and was knocked out. Oh my gosh, here we go again.
Yep. A likely story. No, again, like I said, I honestly feel like it could go both ways because, like, I like what both of you were saying. I really do. And that's why I went back and forth. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, like, was she wicked the whole time? I always think that. I'm not kidding. Like, every time I watch a movie, I'm like,
That's what.
oh, was she the wicked person the whole
No,
time?
I thought that too. But then at the end, I'm like, oh, but that doesn't make sense. And I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
Because I'm trusting what she says. Because I'm listening to her, I guess.
Now you were talking about high tension, right, Jordan? You
I
get
thought the same
through line?
thing.
High
Yeah.
tension, dude.
No, you keep saying high tension, but what of high tension? I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, spoiler alert. If anyone that's listening doesn't want to spoil high tension, the woman is the crazy person at the end, right? She's the one that plans all this.
Yes.
So, anyway. Well, I'm suggesting
But
that
it tells you. This movie doesn't tell you that.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yes.
But does it necessarily tell you? I mean, it could. I mean, the ending, she's flying through the air.
It's just too ambiguous. I don't know.
That's why I think it's more masterful. It doesn't have to be high tension where it literally gives you the answer. This one leaves it to you, smart viewer.
I like Clinton. You're
I like
worried
both
about that
interpretations.
spoiling that movie. You will never watch that movie, just so you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. Clinton, you're amazing. I love.
I don't know.
I always say no. I don't want people to spoil because it's like if you literally had it on your radar, I would hate to have spoiled it for you. But the movie came out like 10, 15 years ago. If you haven't seen it yet, Clinton,
I've never
all
even
the
heard of
movies-
it. I don't even know what it is.
So how would you know that you're watching the movie years down the road when you finally get around to watching it? Whatever. I love you, Clinton, to death. I respect it, dude. I used to hate having movies spoiled for me, and I'd be like, oh, I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll see it someday, and I'll be like, oh, I already know the ending of this movie. Because some random conversation spoiled it for me. I have movies ruined for me all the time, and I forget about it, and then I watch the movie, and I'm like, oh, I think I have deja vu, because I think I knew the story. I'm like, no, someone already told me the ending. Anyway, I'm with you, Clinton. Don't spoil movies, man. Okay, so, which we do every episode on the pod. Least favorite things, it's super evil, dark, disturbing. Any other things you guys want to quote?
That's my only nitpick, too, is like, it's just,
Yeah.
I want to put this on my top 100 list, but because it's seriously so perfect and so well done, but I can't bring myself to do it because of how dark and evil it is.
Yeah, the baby smashing scene is just crosses a line
Yeah,
that
it-
you just
yes.
can't get.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? You guys have any quotes that you guys want to throw out?
Oh man.
I can't quote this movie. It's like they're too
weird.
I wish I could sing those chants that the kids were singing, the little twins, as they were running around and they were whispering things in the goat's ear.
Ba, ba. Ba, ba. Yeah, no, I was thinking of, what did he say? He's like, did you make some unholy bond with that goat? It sounds like a funny quote, but it's not funny when he says it in the movie. Because they're all like, they talked to Black Phillip. I've seen them talking to him. So again, the kids sell their souls to talk to the goat. The goat keeps the kids entertained. Those kids running around with sticks and the clothes they were wearing. It's unreal. This movie's so terrifying. Whew. I needed to decompress after talking about this. We're going to have to talk about some positive movies. That's why we got Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and Wayne's World. Yo, would you recommend which? I gotta say, I don't recommend it, but I love this movie. How weird is that?
I know.
Right?
It's so hard.
Do you guys have guilty pleasures like that? That's what I'm talking about
Yes.
right now. I have a guilty pleasure.
This is
I don't recommend this to anyone because it's a ride. It's a ride. This movie will mess you up. Just talking about it messes you up. Everybody, take a nice spiritual shower after talking. Get your chi and your kai and all your zen back to center.
I know, when you're like,
Your
we're
yin
going
and
to do The
yang,
Witch
get
for the
balanced.
podcast. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch The Witch again.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle it. Yeah,
too
well, you're
much.
right. That's why we watched Wayne's World and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So,
man.
to offset it.
You guys are having me on for all the heavy stuff, like The Conjuring, The Witch.
That's right. We like bringing a doctor on because, you deal with looking at the inside of people all the time. So that seems really dark. But Clinton, what have you seen lately in movies you're looking forward to seeing?
I'm in the middle of a movie with Alex. It's called Come to Daddy.
The Witch? No.
That one's funny. Elijah Wood.
Yeah, we're only
Come to Daddy.
halfway through it, but so far it's great.
The first
yeah,
half is
it's
way
great.
better than the last half.
Oh, dang. Okay, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
so,
no.
yeah.
Sorry.
I would agree with that. But again, maybe that you have that expectation. Maybe you'll like it just the same. In fact, Clinton was the only one that understood Witch, clearly. So maybe he'll enjoy the third act. Come to Daddy.
Or he was tricked by the witch.
He was tricked
It's
by the
true.
witch, dude.
Yeah, no, I could be wrong, but that's how I read it.
Yeah, Clinton would be back in the day just burning people. Ah, she's a witch burner.
It's just a witch. She's clearly a witch. And then she drowns and you're like, oops, she didn't float like a duck. Sorry.
There was something off about her. Come on, you can't just...
When it's a witch, you just know. All right. Clinton, movies you're looking forward to seeing?
Oh, I don't know what's coming out. I have no idea.
No, man. You're going to go see High Tension now that we didn't have it spoiled for you, so. Yes.
Ty, did I tell you on one of the Tinder matches, or what is it called? Bumble or whatever I used, one of the girls sent me. I'm like, oh, what'd you forget for Christmas? And she's like, oh, check it out. And she sent me a photo, and it's a Chucky doll. But in the background, I saw a book of a witchcraft book.
Oh my god!
So we stopped talking after that.
You got matched with this person, huh?
Yep. Maybe that says a lot about me.
I want to get a Babadook book. Just put it on the shelf and not say anything.
The next night, though, after I saw that picture, that night I had a dream that she was casting a hex on me, and so I seriously just deleted it. I was I freaked out.
Forget it.
I was like, I don't want to get cursed. Well, a really quick crazy story. My buddy dated a girl that was a witch, and she went down and like drank like piss from a shaman to tell her how to get back with him, and she like had this crazy trip, and then she came back, and and according to her vision, it was to buy this picture of this naked woman and give it to him. And so she did, and he's like, get away from me. And then he got in a car accident shortly after that, and so he thinks maybe she cast a spell on him or something. I don't know. Just saying.
I feel like I'm watching the movie Oculus.
Yeah, I used to, when I was a missionary, there was a town in Indiana that was full of witches, and we were good friends with all the witches.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have steered clear from there. Sorry.
Yeah. I know
They
one of
enticed
them,
Clinton to come back.
one of them would nurse rocks back to health, and she told me that one of the rocks wanted to go with me, so she gave me one of the rocks.
Do you still have that rock to this day, Clinton?
Alex made me get rid of it. It creeped her out too much.
What she didn't tell you is that it like woke her up in the morning and was like, hey, Alex, move over. You're blocking my view from Clinton. She's like, the rock has got to go. The rock's like, oh.
Oh man, this movie makes me want to watch Bewitched and just like get rid of all the evil juju.
I know. It's so bad.
Juju. Oh man. Guys, well, Clinton, we love you. Do you have a social media presence you want people to be aware of?
Or so they can cast a hex on you.
So they can stalk you and cast a hex on you.
Yeah, Clinton Westover. Clinton Westover on Instagram and Facebook.
There you go.
And then you're gonna walk out your front door, and there's gonna be like all this like wooden like statues and stuff.
The freaking straw cornhusk dolls everywhere. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is Futro Hidden Movie Gems. We appreciated you guys tuning in. Leave us a review, futromovies@gmail.com. Leave us a comment. 5 stars is the appropriate number of stars. Like us, follow us, check us out on Spotify, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, I already mentioned that one. YouTube. What were the other ones? Instagram.
Twitter? Do you have a Twitter?
The Patreon. I guess we have a Patreon. I don't know what it is. Futro. Just look for Futro. Okay. So, everybody, this is Futro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
You're a witch, Harry.
Bye, 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 bye.
Wait, Tay, really quick. I have to tell you, there was this old video about this like religious guy, and he was like talking about Harry Potter has like witches and evil witchcraft, and and he was talking about how evil it is. All right, that's all I want to say.
Yeah, end it on a light note. Harry Potter, you're a wizard, Harry. That was a great quote, by the way. At the very end, the goat to Philip is like, you're a witch. Oh my gosh. Hey, peace.